You've been talking for like 5 hours.
Yeah, it really was. I didn't know, but when
Cause it's so like near 9 o'clock, and you just ended the I think like somewhere at 3 o'clock. So I heard you stop talking.
Yeah, so I was.
Oh, you still watch it?
Well, yeah, I just started over, but so it went from my regular class session to me coming in contact with someone who, when I first started studying this information, was a very great influence upon me. And it's like, hold on. And so it went from what I was talking about to him coming in, adding his understanding. And then once we cleared that out, we just got into catching up and, him doing his, his wonderful stuff that he does, and it just went on and on and on and on, It's like when you see an old friend or you see your brother that you ain't seen in years. Like when next time you see Diamond or D, that feeling that you're going to get because you're just so excited. That's how I felt when I noticed that brother was online.
Islam. Can I say Nisa?
Absolutely, beloved. Absolutely. So in this session, I'm going to go over information pertaining particularly to those of the Moorish diaspora. Okay, so if you're not in the know, this may not resonate with yourself, but for those who are in the know, this will resonate. Okay, so the topic is part and parcel or part and partial. Okay? There we go. I think it's Acts 6. Yes. Thank you. So, I'm going to go over today Act 6 of the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. And then we're going to discuss this, I guess, debate, if you will, as to whether in a particular portion was the word partial or parcel used. Okay? And of course, I'm going to write it as I feel it was. All right. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality and their divine creed. That they may know and I'm also going to show my evidences in favor of why I choose the particular way that I'm going to read it. They may know. and partial. And so I'm just going to underline this so that when we get to discussing it, we'll know that exactly where we're talking, what portion of this act we're pertaining to. And know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians. Excuse me. And we can actually just stop right there, right? Because this is the part that we're talking about. Okay, so let me see. Let me bring this up so y'all can see. So there is this debate, if you will. There we go. Boom. So there is this debate within the Moorish community here in America as to whether the word partial or parcel was used, right, in this act. Now, when I first came into this movement, it was expressed to me parcel. And the reason behind those who say it's parcel is because to be of parcel means that you were wrapped up, in it. You were all in it, and the parcel was obviously, okay, thank you, a piece of paper, if you will, or a bundle of papers, right? And then the word partial means to favor one as opposed to the other. Where is my, there we go. So let's see if we get it in here. I've got the fifth just in case. I'm all in the way, pardon. Okay. Definition, parcel. Right, okay. There we go. All right. In the law of real property, why do I keep losing my place? Yeah, let me do this. go. In the law of real property, parcel signifies. It's terrible. A part or portion of land. As used for chattels. As used for chattels, it signifies, like I said, a small package or bundle. Okay. So this is the definition of parcel. Okay. Let me see if it's in the fourth. Or excuse me, I got the fifth. It's not in there, and I don't want to just make a statement and not be qualified in OPQRS. Okay. Okay. Partial. And partial means relating to or constituting a part. It also says not complete, so we'll take that into consideration. Not entire or universal. Not general or total. Okay. Okay. And mind you, this is the portion, and I'm going to read the whole thing, right? I just wanted to write down the portion. All right. So, in this act of this Constitution, this whole entire Constitution is laying out the foundation of administration of government and how the members, right, of the order or the state, etc., are basically supposed to act, right? And so it says, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and nationality is just statehood. And we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed. Your divine creed is your racial or ethnicity commercial categorization. Right? It says, and we are teaching our people that their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all members must proclaim their free national name. That's their state name. Where are we at? To be recognized by the governments in which they live, because mind you, there's 50 governments in which we all live at this point in time, and the nations of the earth. So that would be the United Nations. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, the Constitution, ordained noble Jur Ali the Prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways, to get them to stop acting like debtors. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Okay? And so Jur Ali basically is outlining how we are to interact, right, with or to act as citizens, basically, right? Because he's teaching his people how to be better citizens, right? And then, just for clarity, right, the SF, let me show you, the SF 181 form, which is the race and ethnicity classification, right, that has black on it and white on it, right? So we see here that Jur Ali is telling his people that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, right? And so we know that here, black or African American means a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. Okay? And then his last statement, where he says, the Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. So he's telling the Moors that they're North African. And then we should see here under white, which is the opposite of black, which he's telling them they're not. We see a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. Okay? With that being stated, what does it mean to be partial relative to government? It means that you are not, that you, partiality is relative to allegiance. Okay? Partiality is relative to allegiance, right? Because he's telling them that we have to basically pledge our allegiance, right? He said all members must proclaim. So that's a statement dealing with allegiance. I'm trying to get this in a good place where I'm not really overcasting it. Alrighty, okay. And Parcel deals with portions of land, and then in regards to chattel, it signifies a small package or a bundle. This is a parcel. This birth certificate is a parcel. Okay? So if partiality of being partial means, hey, first and foremost, my allegiance is to the state of Pennsylvania. Right? That's me declaring my national allegiance to my state. Okay? And then, so if I were to say part and partial, I'm saying I'm a part of Pennsylvania and I'm partial to it. Right? This shows my part and partiality to Pennsylvania. This here says that my birthplace, so where I'm recognized as one of the family, is Pennsylvania. And when I declared my nationality, I had to do so to Pennsylvania. And I had to declare my national allegiance, stating that I am a Pennsylvanian. And so I'm showing partiality. I'm saying that first and foremost, I'm a Pennsylvanian. So when we're looking at this here, right, we're declaring our national status. I particularly, and I've mulled it over time after time, I cannot deduce how the word parcel would be applying to national citizenship. You know, a parcel, like it says in the law of real property. Now, mind you, this birth certificate is evidence of personal property. This passport is evidence of real property. Okay. This is a parcel. Absolutely. But it says as used for chattel. So this is the chattel. Right? This is the chattel, and this is the small package or bundle. This deals with, it says relating to or constitution, a part. It's pinpointing a specific part in distinction to anything else around it, right? I am a free national citizen of this free national republic, Pennsylvania, of the United States of America. And so this is my partiality, right? So now the debate comes. There are some in the movement who say, well, the literature was tampered with, right? That the divine constitution was tampered with, you know, and that they changed parcel to partial. This is the assertion by most, if not all, Clock of Destiny followers. They will tell you that it is part and parcel, not part and partial. Right? And they will say that, you know, somebody, you know, the infiltrators, right, if you will, changed that information. Okay. And so what I have here, and I wish that y'all could see it a little better, right? This is a newspaper article, right? From the Moorish Science Temple of from the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, right? It was the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Let me show you. Before it became the Moorish Science Temple of America. And so this is from that newspaper, the Moorish Guide newspaper. And so when I read this, okay, this says Moorish American pilgrimage to their temple grounds on the, I guess, corner of 37th and Federal Street, August 31st, 1927. So this was posted in 1927, this here. And when I read this in Act 6, it says, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a partial of this said government, etc. And so, again, you have people who are implying or suggesting that this word was never a part of the actual Constitution, right? Now, mind you, this Constitution is now for the Moorish Science Temple of America. So the name changed, right? But the foundation stays the same. Okay, and like I just read from in 1927, it says partial. So me personally, I don't see how anyone can assert that partial was replaced with parcel, right? When I have evidence that it was partial before the temple ever became the Moorish Science Temple of America, while it was still operating as the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, right? And again, we're talking about declaring your nationality, right? So when you declare your nationality and you pledge your allegiance, what you're doing is you're saying that you're a citizen of that state. You're a member of that familial organization and administration. Okay? Now, again, how does Parcel work? So, yeah, I'm of the opinion that those who practice or preach that Parcel was placed in front of partial, these are the subversives, the subversive individual. Anyone saying that, because again, I have evidence. I'll show you the name of it. I'll show you this book. Right? This brother here, he used to be a part of the movement. I guess he's no longer a part of it because no one's really paying attention, and he just felt like, hey, he had to move on. But this brother here, his name is Sheikh Wael, or you might know him as Lord El Abba or Nahim Way, right? So he went through the arduous task of compiling a lot, basically, I'll read the name. It says, this is the movement that started it all, right? And so his intentions with this publishing was to, if you will, exhume or draw out the truth of the matter, right? Using no bias, using only evidence, right? Only assertions that can be that have evidence to support it, right? And so, again, the divine constitution in Act 6 says part and partial. The understanding of being a part of the government and partial to the government aligns with the act of what they're saying here of declaring your national membership. So who then, and again, I would love any of the Moorish Americans on here, right, that agree with the part and parcel, right? I would love for you to come and explain, right, how one can be part and parcel as opposed to part and partial. I've heard people say, "Oh well, if you're saying you're partial, then you're saying that you're unjust." And I'm like, okay, there are certain instances when partiality can be expressed in that manner. Like a judge should always be impartial. A judge should never be partial, right? Because it's saying you're picking sides, right? But when we're talking about national identification, membership, right? Of course, I'm going to sit here and say I'm choosing this side. This is my birthplace, my birthrights. My estate was issued to me here, first and foremost. So I must be partial to Pennsylvania. I must be because I'm a citizen thereof. My rights and my privileges and whatnot are encompassed, right, in the application and recognition of myself being a member of this particular state. And the state is a group of people, right, under constitution, under agreement, right, to act a certain way. Okay? So again, part and partial, or part and parcel. I choose part and partial. One, because it makes sense. And two, because I have evidence that in 1927, now mind you, the Moorish Science Temple of America didn't take on that name until 1928, the following year. But it was part and partial when it was the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. And the Moorish Holy Temple of Science was founded in the year, let me see here. This says 1926 was the actual filing of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. All right. So this is evidence that this Constitution was up and running since at least 1926. And again, the picture shows of 1927, I guess, once the newspaper was actually out and printing and being distributed. This whole the 7 acts of this Constitution were published in the public, right, saying partial. All right. So now let's talk about it. Why would someone come out here and start saying that this was wrong? Right? Maybe they didn't see the information to know. Maybe, excuse me. Maybe their source or reference of the information was inaccurate, or maybe they had intentions to mislead, right? Because this is a misleading act to substitute words of a constitution and in an attempt to apply it as if that is accurate. Saying part and parcel is fraudulent. It's a fraudulent act. So again, those brothers and sisters, there are brothers and sisters out here in the world who subscribe to this part and parcel, right? And again, in my observation, it's either due to ignorance or just due to just being bullheaded and stubborn. It's like, hey, this is how I'm taking it. I'm rolling with it. I don't care what you say. It's not about what I'm saying as if I'm saying it from myself. I'm showing the evidence, and I do intend and I will find this, if this is a true publication. I know for a fact that I'm going to find, I should hopefully be able to find this here, right, as a newspaper article somewhere. And when I find that on my own, right, so that I'm not just using a book of someone else who's giving me information, once I'm able to find that on my own, then my faith in it can go ahead and be gone, because I'll be in fruition. I'll have full knowing. But my faith is in this book at this particular time, because I'm aware that the brother, who put in the work to distribute this information, I know that his heart was sincere. You can tell throughout the book. He's being as completely impartial as he possibly can while disseminating this information. He's not attempting to introduce or place upon anyone his views. He already has his views, right? And he's showing you his views through the book. But he's saying, now, this is what I found. Now you go ahead and take a look, right? There are so many people out here talking about part and parcel. A part of and partial to parcel of land. So in my studies, right? When you're identifying land through parcels, right, then you're not identifying the land at all, right? Because parcels can be taxed, right? But state citizens cannot be taxed unless they agree. I have evidence for that. As I work, I am employed under W-2, by the way, right? So I'm working in the capacity of a servant, right? But because I'm utilizing my state government where did I put it? I don't know. There it is. No, that's not it. There it is. Okay. Because I am asserting my part and partiality to my state government, right? I myself am recognized as we the people. I am one of we the people of Pennsylvania, and then within the Union, I am one of we the people of the United States. Not stateless, by the way, right? But in law with the state. I don't know how I could say I am a part and parcel, right? I'm a part of, meaning this, me and it is it. And I'm partial to it. So again, I'm saying me and this state, me and this land are one. Now, as a parcel, it's kind of saying the same thing. But again, if you understand parcels and lots, right, these things can be taxed. True land is not under parcel if it's not parcel, if it's not being taxed. Right? Now, Drew Ali said, hey, you know what? They're going to tax us to death. Right? If we don't follow his principles. His principle was telling you that you are a part of your state, and you are partial to your state, right? Before you're an American, you're a Pennsylvania. Eat what the land produces. I am what I consume. Absolutely. All right, now, can you be a part of a government and partial to that government? Absolutely. This is talking about nationality. You're saying that you are a countryman. You are saying that these are my people here. I'm a part of these people here. If you're a part of the government and parcel, well, parcel means, and we're dealing with chattel property, right? It means a bundle of papers. It means a bundle of papers. It also means the land, okay, but are you a part of and parcel in the respect that, you are a piece of paper? How does this, being a parcel, express allegiance? Partiality expresses allegiance. It's saying, you join the Air Force. The oath is administered. You take the oath. You are becoming partial to the Air Force over who? Over the Navy, over the Army, over the Marines, right? Now you're working together with these individuals, right? But your group would be the Air Force. You're partial to the Air Force. You take commands from that group, right? This, to me, just does not express the assertion that I'm choosing family over everything. When you declare your nationality, you're declaring your family over everything. That is the understanding. A citizen is a member of a jural society. The society is an aggregate of men and women. This is the family. They're constituent members. They've agreed to act as one people. So again, I'm declaring my partiality, my allegiance. Assalamu alaikum. If you ever want some number to just hang up, hit them with the greetings, yeah. Word. So again, if you wish to view for yourself, right, that divine constitution and bylaws, right, and so, okay, he even has it in here again, right? Let me see. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are not, that they may know that they are a part and a partial uh, uh. And I know this is where they be getting it at too. They be trying to say, how can you be partial of? Right? It says a part of, and a part and partial of. Right? And so, just for y'all linguistically to catch on, right? Because the word part was the first article, then this connection is going to apply over here. All right? What it reads is, it says a part and. Let me check to make sure that they are a part. Nope. It says a part and a partial. Keep fucking up. Keep messing up. Pardon me. It's that retrograde. A part. This is how it reads. A part and a partial of. So you're saying it's a part of. Because this connector, this of, is dealing with the very first damn, I can't remember what a part. It's not a noun, it's not an adjective. All right, well, this is an article. Okay, so the of is pertaining to the first article. A part of the state government. A part and a partial of the state government, right? So then so you are a part and a parcel of the state government. Well, what in a parcel? Let me see. How did I hear that in my head? All right. Wouldn't a parcel be the part? You're a part and a parcel. Well, wouldn't the parcel be the part? Because the partiality is not the part. part, right? Part, and they'll say, "Hey, well, it's like you're saying the same word." No, it. I guess so. This is the emphasis: a part and a partial. So this could also read a part of and a partial to. Okay, a part of and a parcel to does not ring, right? But anywho, to be a part of something and partial to or of that something is expressing allegiance, conformity, agreement. I don't know how I could be a part and a parcel of the government in any type of declaration or assertion that I'm making. I don't know how being a part and a parcel of a parcel deals with my citizenship. Now, I'm also going to say that I don't completely knock this phrase. I don't knock this phrase, right? But I'm aware that this is the phrase that was used. To some in some circles, I'll say I'm part partial and parcel, right? I say that from time to time because I don't see why all three of these could not be used, right? But when we're expressing the act of saying that you are a part of something, right? If I work at Burger King, right, I'm a part of fast food, right? But I'm partial to Burger King, right? I'm not going to walk, and then I'm partial to this Burger King, right? I might work at the Burger King here and go up the street. And if I walk up the street to the Burger King up there and I'm not in uniform, they can't hold that against me because I'm not in agreement there. I'm in agreement with the one down the street. So the state down the street that I'm a part of is Pennsylvania. It could be a parcel, I guess, right? But again, parcels get taxed. Now, mind you, the state does offer tax. You know, let me conclude. Let me conclude. Fact does not mean truth in and of itself. Facts just means evidence. Something that supports an idea. But if the facts are found to not be wrong, then those facts are found or they're declared to be true. Okay? So we're going to do the findings according to the facts. According to the Moorish Guide newspaper, article printed for public distribution in 1927 and in accordance with the civic organization uh, 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 commencement in 1926, right? Via uh, via filing with Secretary of the State of Illinois, part and partial is the truth. In fact, okay. Pardon. So, the findings, according to the facts, what are the facts? Now, let me show you the facts. We have this book publishing, right? In this publishing, on page 29, we have a copy of the newspaper of the time. And we also have a copy of the actual Constitution as it was displayed, right? And this was displayed as the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, and then it changed to the Moorish Science Temple of America. So we have, according to the findings of this that's in this book, in both instances dealing with the same Constitution, we find that it says part and partial, Partial. So, according to these findings, if anyone were to assert or insert parcel, it would be an uttering of a forged instrument. It would be fraudulent. It would have no force of law. It would be colorable. Okay? It is part and partial. It is part and partial. Your partiality is your allegiance to your state. You're pledging allegiance to your state and to your state government and to the overall national government, which deals with the union as a whole. These are the findings. If there is anyone at this time who may have other facts or findings, please, by all means, bring yourself on up and I'll bring you in and we can discuss your facts and your findings. Is there anybody of the Moorish diaspora that would like to come up and speak on this? This is a meeting. We're holding a record of account right now. This is a proceeding. So all of you who are here right now, you 7 individuals at this particular point, if anyone would like to discuss this information, please come on up. All right. And so I don't see any individuals bringing themselves up to the platform to discuss this information. Hold on. Nobody? Nobody. So then, right, I am now going to give or to render my findings. I'm going to make my judicial determination based upon the facts. I have sought any yeas and any nays, and no nays have come to pass. No one has spoken up, and that means that we are all in agreement by acquiesce. All right, I was just checking. Okay, and so the truth which is sovereign, meaning non-reviewable, the findings that we have found cannot be overturned, right? The truth, which is sovereign, is that one, part and partial is the correct phrase applicable to declaring national citizenship. And two, part and parcel is an innovation and has no force in its application. It is fraudulent. Part and parcel is the correct phrase applicable to declaring national citizenship, right, or allegiance to your state. And part and parcel is an innovation. It was not there in the beginning, and thus has no force of law in its application. It is colorable, meaning fraudulent, not that which it appears to be. Right? Put a 1 in the chat if this makes any sense. Put a 2 in the chat if it makes no sense. By all means, please. And thank you. And shout out to the 1.9 thousand hearts that you all sent me. Those who come and go. Word. Word. So we can now deduce, right, that in order to declare your nationality, you must express that you are a part of your nation and partial to your nation in order to be recognized by your nation as a member and all around the world. They will know you as those people. I am a Pennsylvanian. Right? since you peaceful greetings, beloved.
Peace, peace. Islam more.
Islam. By all means, why don't you let us know what it is that's on your mind, beloved?
I was one that disagreed with the previous statement of part and partial being the correct,
Mm-hmm.
and I would argue that part and parcel is the correct.
Okay, and that's fine. But just so that I could put it in perspective, just in case you didn't come in at the beginning, this was all about the the evidence that we find, right, of part and partial, right, being what was written on the divine constitution. So your disagreement as to whether part and partial or part and parcel is right or not, I'm not saying that it doesn't matter, but I want to make sure that it's relevant to the angle at which we're, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Approaching, right? So let me ask you, is it your stance that part and parcel was originally on the Constitution and that part and partial was later on placed in fraudulently?
I would agree with that statement, but honestly, I don't know. I don't have any empirical evidence. I'm just basing my stance off of just thinking and
Did you
applicability.
did you see me when I was did you see when I was presenting this information here?
I did not.
Okay, right, and that's why I wanted to make sure. So, and by all means, right, if you're someone who wants to know, right, this book right here, right, this is a book that was compiled by a brother who desired to know, and so his research led him to bring out the truth, despite how he may feel about the situation, and so he went and did his research and he found its evidence. He's found the newspaper articles of the time, right? And the particular article we're speaking about is that he found in the Moorish Guide newspaper, under the newspaper of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. So this was before 1928, when Noble Drew Ali changed the civic organization into a religious corporation and named it the Moorish Science Temple of America. What he's showing us is that in this newspaper that was being distributed, right, and it says Noble Drew Ali founder, home office, all of that good stuff. And this is saying that this document is from 1927. And in this document, in this photo that we have, it looks like they photocopied it, right? But in this photocopy that we have, it states the whole 7 acts of the Constitution. And I read it for the individuals, and it states, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a partial of this said government. It says Partial. And there are some who say, hey, you know what? Uh, some infiltrators, came into the movement and changed it from partial to parcel. It should have been parcel. And I'm just showing that there's no evidence to that assertion. And I'm also saying that I don't completely reject the idea of being parcel. But again, the point that I'm getting to is that was not what was written. So for anyone saying that part and partial was an innovation, right? I just need for those individuals to produce their proof, because I have evidence here. And like I made mention of when I first came in, I'm going to do my due diligence, right? I'm going to check, because I'm able to do research online and get certain information that it's not in the public. As a matter of fact, when you get a chance, the last maybe 3 or 4 posts that I've made on my page, you'll see that I've shown that Drew Ali's name was Thomas Drew, that he was from Norfolk, Virginia, not North Carolina, right? And I'm showing these evidences, so it's not like I'm just saying it. Like, so I'm going to use that same tenacity, if you will, right, in my research, so that because I want to see it for myself. I made it known to the people that, you know, this is information. I'm giving it to you secondhand, right? So I need to go for myself and find this, right, for myself, right? I have faith in this, but I need to know for certain. And so I'm going to do my own due diligence and see if I can find that same information, and then I'll present that as well. One moment. Assalamu alaikum. No, this is not her number anymore. I don't know why she didn't change her information on her page, but you're not the only individual that's called and asked for her. You are completely fine. No harm done. You take care. Bye-bye. All right, pardon so. So again, that's what this is about, is whether or not there is evidence, right? Whether part and partial was used or part and parcel was used. And my determination was that based on the information we have, anyone asserting part and parcel, that is an innovation or a deviation from what was given. And so anyone asserting that part and parcel is how the Constitution was written, right? There's one of 3 things happening. Either they've never seen this, right? Or they are just completely unaware and they're speaking out of ignorance because they're following, or they know it and they intentionally threw that in the mix to mislead. Those are the only 3 determinations that I, at this at this time, can deduce, because there's no evidence. There's no evidence of part and parcel. Go ahead.
I would assert one more possibility with that, dear brother.
Okay.
The possibility that we just have not found a constitution with the words part and parcel does not mean that one doesn't exist.
This is true, but we're talking about a particular organization, their particular divine constitution and bylaws, right? If you're a biker and you're a part of that order, right? You have, these are our bylaws. Boom. Now, they may vary somewhere else, right, with other like organizations, but according to this chapter, and all chapters are largest that it's coming under, this particular constitution is how it applies. So it might be part and parcel somewhere, but Noble Drew Ali, we have no evidence that Drew Ali, or shit for that matter, anybody in the movement, right, placed part and parcel into the Constitution. That came later. According to the findings, that came later. There is evidence, and like I said, it's secondary, but I have faith in this brother's, in this brother's ability. You know, I've read this whole book. There's a lot of jewels in here that I didn't even make mention of, that I could show, you know. But I was just specifically sitting on that part and parcel. It's not there, bro. It's not there. I haven't found part and parcel in the Moorish Science Temple of America. And we find part and partial in the organization before it was even Moorish Science Temple of America. We found it when it came as a civic organization prior to Moorish Holy Temple of Science. We see that it was part and partial in that constitution. And when the Moorish Holy Temple of Science as a civic organization was given its religious ecclesiastic jurisdiction, the Constitution never changed, only the name. And so instead of the Constitution saying Moorish Holy Temple of Science, it now says the Moorish Science Temple of America. And again, we only see part and partial as late as 1927.
Understood.
Appreciate it, beloved. I tried. This is called consideration. So, for those of you who think that Moors can't disagree and speak, in honor with one another, y'all got another thing coming. I'm not here to stop anybody's flow. And this brother obviously doesn't seem like he's over here trying to force his opinion, because there are Moors that do that. And consequently, it'd be Moors to say part and parcel, but he's not one of them trying to push it, right, on to anyone. Now, he has the right to accept it as he understands it. We could all move as part and parcel, but if we move as part and parcel, we can't move as the Moorish Science Temple of America. And mind y'all, I'm not a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America, because that was way back in the old time, and this is a new era of time now. But I'm just saying, I am the temple, right? Pennsylvania is my science temple, if you will, right? But again, we can't move as this group if we've changed anything unlawfully. So again, we can be part and parcel, but we can't be the Moorish Science Temple of America. We can have the same constitution and bylaws, but we would have to change the name of the organization. Anywhere Moorish Science Temple of America pops up, it would have to be something else, because you've changed a portion of it, and so it's not whole. It's no longer perfected. How do they say it? It has an error. Yeah. Well, there's an error, and in accounting, if there's only an error when things don't add up. Right. I appreciate you for stepping up, brother. If there's nothing else for you to speak on, then I'm gonna go ahead and bring you down.
Okay, bro. Peace.
Islam, peace and love, brother. We got bots in the room. We're gonna take these bots out of the room too. All right. Hold on. There we go. All right. So again, any yeas or any nays? All right. Okay. So we're going to go back in the judicial determination. Based on the findings and the facts. Decision. This is the rendering. Now, we've just been to trial. We've just had a record of account. This is the finding. So this is the financial statement. This is the determination. This is the sentence. Judgment has been rendered. The sentence has been passed. I appreciate you all for coming. I hope that this helps you all. All right. of this information anytime I go live. You will be able to recap on YouTube. Link in bio. As always, I'm your brother man, professor, professional, one who is in standing, Brother Brandon Davis Ali. Islam.